Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. If you guys have been listening to me for an extended period of time, you probably know the next words that are going to come out of my mouth. Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25 is, without question, and don't at me, without question, the greatest WWE match of all time. A lot of people have always wondered since WrestleMania 26 what would happen. Shawn Michaels is going to come out of retirement, dream matches with AJ Styles, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Samoa Joe. The list goes on and on. You could probably put Shawn Michaels in the ring with a fucking mannequin and he'd bring it to a 5-star match. And it would probably be the most highly anticipated match of 2019. A lot of people thought that The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels feud, which is one of the greatest feuds in WWE history, died. It was finished at WrestleMania 26. I'm here to tell you that the feud never died to me. The feud never went away. I still watch that match back every single year during WrestleMania season. Every single year since it's happened, I go back and watch that match. If I was to make a list of the top 2 performers in this business of all time, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker would be number 1 and number 2, respectively. The feud never died at WrestleMania 26, people. The feud has always been alive up here, and the feud has always been alive right here. There's 2 men that have business that's still ongoing to this day, even in the absence of Shawn Michaels' retirement. It is these 2 individuals here. A lot of people are talking about Monday Night Raw. A lot of people are talking about Monday Night Raw, and it has nothing to do with whatever's going on with Roman Reigns and the monster among men, Braun Strowman, who they foolishly turned heel. It has absolutely nothing to do with any current WWE superstar because WWE has failed to create new stars. They looked to Shawn Michaels, who has been retired since WrestleMania 26. They looked to a 53-year-old, I think he's 53, 51 or 53, regardless, a 50-year-old Undertaker to come in to Monday Night Raw and give you a segment that nobody else on that show even came close to touching. It was a segment that made me drop everything I was doing and made me listen and hang on to every single word both men uttered. The rumors are going around that Shawn Michaels is getting ready to come out of retirement, that he's getting ready to come back and wrestle that one more match that we always wanted him to do since that retirement at WrestleMania 26. You know, Shawn Michaels is working closely with Triple H. Shawn Michaels has been very hands-on with the growth of the Velveteen Dream. Shawn Michaels and Triple H, both respectively, have been hands-on with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa and their feud. I mentioned on my NXT review this week that Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are mirror images of what Shawn Michaels and Triple H are today. Shawn Michaels is living vicariously through Velveteen Dream and Johnny Gargano. Triple H is living vicariously even though he is still somewhat active. And he will be challenging The Undertaker at the Australian Super Showdown on October 6th. Triple H is living mostly vicariously through Tommaso Ciampa. You know, it would be very difficult for someone in Shawn Michaels' shoes to be working around all 3 of those guys and not want to get back in the ring. It's very difficult for Shawn Michaels to watch these 3 individuals perform and say, nah, I don't have an interest in getting back in the ring. Nah, I don't have an interest in doing this anymore. Are you fucking out of your mind? That's like putting me in front of the Guinness Brewery and telling me, nah, don't have a Guinness. Now I'm going to go to the Guinness Brewery and not have a Guinness. Or I'm going to go to the Guinness Brewery and not learn how to pour a Guinness, even though I already know how to. I'll probably walk in there and be like a fucking MVP. You get my point. Shawn Michaels has been hands-on with Dream, Gargano, and Ciampa. So him coming back, him getting involved with them, and now rumored to be getting involved with The Undertaker and Triple H in Australia. How could you say, or how could he feel like he could just walk away without giving us one last match? WWE may be bringing back Shawn Michaels, and I'm going to tell you exactly how they need to bring back Shawn Michaels right here today, right here in the opening of this podcast. But if WWE has anything to do with it, they will be giving us nothing but disappointment, as always. The reason why Shawn Michaels is coming out of retirement has been revealed, and a lot of people don't want to see this be the end of Shawn Michaels. One of the greatest in-ring performers of this generation. May very well be the greatest of all time. Shawn Michaels, for over 20 years, has given me memories that I will never forget. The Heartbreak Kid is what he's been called throughout his career in WWE. Decided to pretty much call an end to his career in 2010, though wanting to spend more time with his family in Texas and see his children grow up. Michaels still continued to make sporadic appearances on television, though in the coming years he in fact pretty much has somewhat come out of retirement, but not in the way we want. He's moved to Florida. He moved to Orlando. He got up and moved his family to Orlando to train at the Performance Center and be a part of Triple H's team and Triple H's vision of what he wants WWE to be. Shawn Michaels was scheduled to appear on the September 3rd edition of Monday Night Raw, and it was generally thought that he was going to be used as nothing but a voice to hype the last time ever match between Triple H and the man that retired Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker. The WWE Universe got way more than they asked for. A verbal confrontation between Undertaker and Shawn Michaels was probably one of the best segments all year for WWE. And there was an element of realism because Shawn Michaels uttered, "I hear the one more match everywhere I go, in every interview that I conduct. I hear that. And I've done something that nobody has kept their word on. I stayed retired because I'm a man of honor, a man of respect, and more importantly, I respect you." And he pointed to The Undertaker. The most important aspect of him being retired is that he stayed retired for The Undertaker. And in typical Undertaker fashion, he questioned Shawn Michaels and stated, "Is it out of respect for me, or is it out of fear that you stayed retired? Because you can listen to one more match, but you ain't coming back for anybody else except for me." And there's a reason why Shawn Michaels would come back and want The Undertaker. He would want to return the favor, which I will get to in a second. There was an element of realism from Shawn Michaels when he spoke about not breaking his retirement out of promises made to The Undertaker. Many thought it was planting seeds for a third installment of Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Again, I will talk about that. But it's being reported that Michaels will be returning to the ring much, much sooner than April. The main reason for HBK coming out of retirement is very simple. Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer radio show. There is huge money involved in the WWE shows taking place in Saudi Arabia. When you think about the last event in April, with a 50-man Royal Rumble and a steel cage match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, the company really pushed the envelope out of their Middle Eastern fans. They really pushed the envelope. They gave them something that could have been very WrestleMania-esque. They built upon the prestige of the Royal Rumble. They gave us a WrestleMania rematch, this time in the confines of a steel cage with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. They brought back certain superstars to make guest appearances there. We got a WWE Championship match with AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, another rematch from WrestleMania. It was hyped all over the place, while Backlash received zero hype. WWE put all their resources into the Saudi Arabian show, the greatest Royal Rumble. There's some doubt it wasn't all for the fans, more so the lucrative deal that was struck between the WWE and the Saudi government worth a reported $45 million a year over 10 years. It's thought that Shawn Michaels was asked to appear at the Greatest Royal Rumble, but the offer of an upcoming in-ring return at their next show in November must be too good to refuse. It's really no surprise that the Saudi government wants Shawn Michaels. After all, the crown prince of the country apparently wanted the Ultimate Warrior and Yokozuna to appear at the Greatest Royal Rumble, not knowing that they had passed away. So, trying to capture one of the biggest stars in the 1990s makes a whole lot of sense. And it looks like Michaels just might have been swayed to come out of retirement and compete at the November Saudi Arabian show. If I'm Shawn Michaels, I'm turning that down. If I'm Shawn Michaels, I'm turning that down. Shawn Michaels has lasted from WrestleMania 26, and we're about to enter WrestleMania 35 in New Jersey. Since 2010, the man has been retired. Why now? Why now? 10 years older, would you come back and this be your last swan song for the WWE? Why now, after 10 years, would you come back and throw away the honor, respect, and the respect for The Undertaker? Over what? Blood money? Money that the Saudi government has given WWE to put on their best show possible, and it means nothing at the end of the day. If I'm Shawn Michaels, I am turning that down, and my one last match, my one more match is not taking place here. My one last match, my final match, is happening in April at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. If I'm Shawn Michaels, I don't give a fuck how much money they're offering him. Shawn Michaels, I'm pretty sure, is comfortable where he is. If I'm taking that money, it ain't going to be for a fucking final match. This has been so important for Shawn Michaels up until this point. One last match. It's not one last match and then another. I don't want to see Shawn Michaels wrestle in November and then in April. I want it to fucking mean something. It means something to him, and I want it to mean something to all of us as well. I don't give a shit what you do in November. He's already being rumored to be a part of the Australian Super Showdown as a special guest referee. As if the shit that happened inside Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania 28 never fucking happened. It's bad enough that we have to realize that happened and now have to be fed bullshit about one final time. The only difference here in Australia is that there's no Hell in a Cell. But you're giving me the same shit that we got back at 28. A match, in my honest opinion, should have retired The Undertaker, should have retired Triple H, and should have retired Shawn Michaels. What did that meeting, what did that handshake, what did that raising of the hands on top of the stage after that match really mean? What did the embrace of all three men together mean at the end of that match on top of that WrestleMania stage? Being that this is the final time, it means nothing. That should have been the final time. That should have been The Undertaker's retirement. That should have been when Triple H and Shawn Michaels walked away. Nothing in this company means anything anymore. Everything that this company does, they do for money. You don't need Shawn Michaels for the November Saudi Arabian show. You don't. I don't see why WWE needs Shawn Michaels to be there. Who is he going to wrestle? I don't want to see him wrestle AJ Styles. I don't want to see him wrestle Johnny Gargano. I don't want to see him wrestle Tommaso Ciampa. I don't want to see him wrestle Samoa Joe. I don't want to see him wrestle anybody else. It's bad enough Shawn Michaels has been retired since 2010. Now we're going to get a Shawn Michaels almost 10 years older to wrestle who? And have it mean nothing. There's only one way you bring Shawn Michaels back for one last match, and that is at WrestleMania. The Undertaker needs to retire. For the sake of fucking storyline, The Undertaker beats Triple H in Australia. He has that hanging over both Triple H and Shawn Michaels' heads. He goes into WrestleMania, and Shawn Michaels is so upset about what had happened. You book a fuck finish, you book an interference, you book a miscue, you book something that just has something sit on Shawn Michaels' head and on his brain for all these months leading into WrestleMania season. And Shawn Michaels comes back during WrestleMania season and offers the challenge. I'm coming back for one more match. I am giving everybody exactly what they want. I'm giving The Undertaker what he wants. I'm giving The Undertaker one last chance to put me away. I'm not coming back out of retirement for just one-off match or for a big payday. I'm coming out of retirement because I am going to repay the favor that you gave to me back at WrestleMania 26. I'm coming out of retirement to get my revenge. I'm coming out of retirement to retire you. I don't give a fuck how old The Undertaker is. I don't give a shit how old Shawn Michaels is. I would pay money to see that match. Take my $70 fucking on pay-per-view and I'll be happy with seeing that match. No matter how old or broken down they both are. Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker have a very special just bond together. They were inside the first Hell in a Cell match. Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker had that casket match the following January from that Hell in a Cell. The Undertaker put Shawn Michaels out for 5 years. They put on the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. They gave us one of the greatest storylines in WrestleMania history. Shawn Michaels retired by the hands of The Undertaker. It writes itself. It writes itself. There's no money on this earth that I would give to these men to ruin a moment like that. If I'm either of those men, I am taking $0. This is about the legacy of both men. This is about the prestige of what these men have built up. This is about the storyline that, to me, never died. If you're going to offer Shawn Michaels XXXX amount of money and have this fucking moment tarnished, it's not going to mean as much if we get to April and he's already wrestled. There's only one event on this earth that Shawn Michaels is going to come back for, and that's WrestleMania. Whatever they're offering him in Saudi Arabia, you fucking match it and plus some for WrestleMania. That's how much he's worth. That's how much this moment is worth. I don't give a fuck what you think about The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. That match happens at WrestleMania if and when Shawn Michaels does come back. The only man on this roster that deserves to retire The Undertaker is not anybody that you currently see on television. There's only one man in this roster, one man in this fucking company that should and will retire The Undertaker. And that is Shawn Michaels. I don't want to hear any other fucking argument from anybody. I'm okay with Shawn Michaels being the special guest referee, even though I wish whatever they did at WrestleMania Inside the Cell remained untouched. I hate the fact that they're billing this as the last time ever. It's all for the sake of fucking money, network subscriptions, and selling 80,000 seats. Fuck it. Sometimes things are not all about money. I wish they would just fucking keep the legacy of certain things intact instead of making everything a goddamn fucking business. You're gonna make your money regardless. Please do not book and put Shawn Michaels on the Saudi Arabian show. I don't want to see that. And for the simple fact that Shawn Michaels has remained out this entire time, I'm hoping that his good judgment prevails. He would have been offered so much money to come out of retirement and wrestle anybody on this roster 10 times over. Now you're going to have him come back? Now, for the money. Now you're going to have him come back? Come on, people. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. Plus, you want a big headline for WrestleMania? There you go. You want something that's going to counter what the G1 Supercard is going to be? There you go. Every wrestling fan on this fucking planet is going to head to WrestleMania if that is your main event. You want to book The Undertaker in these meaningless fucking matches and you want to use him for WrestleMania just to build hype, right? Here you go. His last ride. And Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement to retire The Undertaker. There is no one better for the job. And I don't want to hear anybody else's opinion. That's my thoughts on that. I couldn't wait to fucking talk about that, man. I've been hearing all these rumors after that segment on Monday. Holy shit. That was an unbelievable segment that probably will go down as the best this year for Monday Night Raw. Coincidentally, with two 50-year-olds. I don't know how good that is, but it doesn't speak well for the rest of the roster. When these guys can come back, and yes, I know who they are, when these guys can come back being away for so long and literally pick up right where they left off and leave everybody who's been on television week after week after week, month after month after month, and make them look irrelevant. What does that say about your current WWE roster? What does that say about your current direction for WWE? It means they ain't doing such a good job after all. Those are my opening thoughts for Off the Script. Shawn Michaels coming back at WrestleMania for The Undertaker, retires The Undertaker, and that will certainly be, undoubtedly be, the end of an era. This is Off the Script. This is part one to start your weekend off the only fucking way I know how, bro. Right here. Right here. Don't go anywhere. A lot more news coming up. Let's hit the intro. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth.
I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese.
I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not.
WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Delete! What is it, man? Can I suck your dick? What is it, man?
And this is the #1 fucking podcast.
Right here on YouTube.com!
This is Off the Script. I was looking for it, man, ever since I got back from Chicago. I was looking for it. Couldn't find it. I got it at GameStop, and I fucking hate GameStop because I just hate what they're about. I hate the way that they treat their employees, or the fucking horror stories that I hear about GameStop employees. You know, fun fact, I actually, when I first moved back to New York, I think I actually applied for a GameStop assistant manager position, and there was just something within me that says, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do this. And they were offering me shit money to be an assistant manager, and I thought, well, it'd be great to work around video games and be sent to conferences and all this shit. I didn't take it. And then I had all these fucking horror stories come out. I actually had a very good friend of mine work at GameStop, and he told me, don't do it. It's a nightmare. But regardless, I had to go to GameStop, and I got it. The one that I went to had one last copy of this. And he said, dude, this is the last copy. You want it? I'm like, absolutely. Give it to me. Fire Pro Wrestling World for PS4, man. So if you guys want to see some universe mode, quote unquote, maybe we'll do our own G1 tournament, man. What do you guys think about that? I think it's a good thing to do until the WWE 2K Nightmare comes out. But speaking of that, I know a lot of you guys wanted me to do the roster reveal. I've been having internet issues, so I did not do it, and I don't really care. I haven't seen gameplay yet. Maybe they're hiding gameplay because it's the same shit. I don't know. I don't give a fuck if Bianca Belair or the Undisputed Era or fucking Jack Gallagher or Drew Gulak is in the game. I don't care. I want to see fucking gameplay. At least we got this. So we'll see what happens. Also, video game wise, apparently Blackout. You guys wanted my opinion on Blackout? This shit looks fucking cool, man. That shit looks like it's going to be the game mode to go to for Black Ops 4. So we'll see what happens with that. The demo, or the beta, I guess, is coming out this week. So I will probably be streaming that with the guys. Crossing my fingers on that one. This is Off the Script, episode 238. This is part number 1. To start your post All-In weekend. I'm still feeling the effects of All-In, man. Holy shit. I was on such an emotional high, man, coming back from Chicago. I think I still am, to be honest with you. So I had a blast. And thank you guys for all the support there. You know, I really would have loved to do things differently while I was in Chicago. You know, they granted me one interview when I was promised to. I got MJF. Didn't make a big deal about it. I'm lucky I got one. Some people got none. But I did see Sami Callihan walking around, and he's like the nicest fucking guy, dude. I really wanted to get an interview with him in character and, you know, just promote his upcoming match at House of Glory with Bully Ray. I didn't do that. There was just so many people. I met so many of you guys, man. I can't wait to do it again. If there is an All-In 2, which I'm hoping that there is, I'm definitely signing up immediately for Podcast Row, man. I had a great time. Had a great time meeting everybody. I think it could be the destination for independent wrestling, man. It could be the weekend for indies similar to WrestleMania weekend, you know? So we'll see what happens, man. Thank you guys for all the support over that weekend. I'm still trying to get things situated and right. There's just a lot of shit going on right now. I did manage to get Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT, Mae Young Classic reviews up as well. I uploaded that actually today. So if you guys want my thoughts on the Mae Young Classic, Round 1, Episode 1, that stuff is live on the channel right now. NXT was fucking unbelievable this week, man. Velveteen Dream and Johnny Gargano. Just call him Johnny Classic, because everything the fucking guy does is a fucking classic. Unbelievable main event. Some great storylines going on with NXT right now. Some new talent coming in. You got Matt Riddle coming in. You got Forgotten Sons debuting. Ricochet and Pete Dunne being built up as a champion versus champion. Winner takes all match. If you ain't watching NXT, you're doing something wrong, bro. You know, get off that Monday Night Raw dick train with Roman Reigns and the fucking failed initiative, the one that they keep jamming down your fucking throat with a plunger. Vince McMahon is a fucking, he's a plumber. He's just pumping shit every fucking week. You know? It's bullshit. It's so funny how they cater to Roman and then forget everybody else. They do whatever they can to push this fucking initiative. And then Rollins got hurt. I don't know how long he's going to be out. I got news on his injury. We'll talk about that. You know, the Strowman heel turn doesn't make sense. WWE accidentally turning Becky into the biggest babyface out of all the women on both Raw and SmackDown. They didn't purposely do that, even though they'll probably tell you that was the plan. You know? Hell in a Cell really isn't receiving that much hype. There's no build for it because they're building towards Hell in a Cell, and then they're building towards Evolution, and then they're building towards the Saudi show, and then they're building towards the Australian Super show. It's too much to take in, man. I physically had to take like a step back from everything. You know, I didn't upload Raw on Monday night. I waited till Tuesday because my mind is fucking about to explode. I didn't upload SmackDown on Tuesday night. I waited till Wednesday. NXT, I waited till Thursday. It's just so much going on, man. I can't take this shit. I needed a reset. I really needed a reset, and hopefully you guys are happy with what you get here. I got a lot of news we're going to go over today, man. I should definitely go over an hour, and then the remaining days of this weekend over an hour as well. So we'll fill it out. We'll give you the off the script that you guys have come to know and love and expect every single weekend, and we'll do what we got to do here, man. Follow me on Twitter. Best way to keep up to date on the channel, man. At JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Please, it is very important. It is imperative. Turn on the bell. Because I am hearing that YouTube premieres are coming out. And I'm going to be utilizing that option quite frequently, man. Because it's going to be a great way for me to record something and then premiere it as if it's live for you guys. So I want to test that out primarily with this. Hopefully that's coming soon. But please hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell, man. We just went over 97,000 subscribers, man. We're getting closer. We're getting closer, and we should be there, hopefully. The projected dates, I looked it up because I'm a big numbers guy. I'm a big analytic guy. We should be there by Halloween. So, tell a friend. Tell the fucking goon at the deli if you like wrestling. Bro, you got to listen to JD. You got to listen to Off the Script. He's got great coverage on Raw, SmackDown, NXT. You got to do it. So please get the word out there, and let's get to 100,000 before the end of the year, man. Thank you guys so very much. If you guys want to support the show, there are several ways to do that. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. I want to thank everybody that bought a t-shirt at Podcast Row, at StarCast, All In Weekend, man. You guys will be getting notifications of your shirts very, very soon. I'm going to be taking care of that immediately, man. I had to get myself situated, but I did not forget. Everybody that's ordered a t-shirt at Podcast Row, at StarCast, is going to get their t-shirt very, very soon, man. The new Summer Scam t-shirt on sale. That is on barbershopwindow.com exclusively. It is a top seller. So if you guys want to support the show, it is a great way to indeed do that. All shapes and sizes, even women's t-shirts, man. If you are a part of the women's JD movement, there are t-shirts for you as well, man. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. And if you guys want 20% off, you can enter BSHOP20 for 20% off every single purchase, man. I went to the 1 Hour Tee store. I went to the Pro Wrestling Tee shop in Chicago, man. I would absolutely be shopping there every fucking weekend, man. Unbelievable store. Unbelievable store. They were fucking gracious. They were nice. So good, man. I had a blast. That was one of my favorite parts of the entire weekend. But if you guys want your merchandise, barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Harry's.com/script. The best shave of your life. I'm still waiting on my I guess, body wash and my bar soap. I know they're sending me that stuff, but the shave stuff, exceptional, man. Shave gel, a handle, a blade, a case, you're all going to get it for free. That is FREE. Soon as you listen to Off the Script and you enter that code, harrys.com/script in your browser. That's our unique link. All you have to do is pay the shipping and handling, and you're going to have a free trial shave set delivered right to your front door. No questions asked. Harry's believes that they are a step and above and beyond everybody else in the shaving industry. And they're willing to give you a free trial shave set just to prove it to you. So please go and do that, man. harrys.com/script. It's a great way to support the podcast here on Off the Script. Audible. Our fine friends over at Audible, man. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Please go and check them out. They are going to give you 30 days. That's 1 month, again, free. There's that word, man. Free, FREE. 1 month free of their service. And they're going to include an audiobook on the house just for signing up. That's 1 free audiobook and 30 days free just for trying out Audible, man. audibletrial.com/offthescript. If you guys have already signed up, you can't sign up again. So tell a friend, tell a family member, tell anybody, man. It's a great way to support the show. Spread the word of Audible. Give the gift of Audible. Over 200,000 choices to choose from. And you can download the app on any mobile device, man. iPad, iPhone, Android. You guys have Audible anywhere you go, man. audibletrial.com/offthescript. I've also been meaning to do this, man. You know, he had this coming for a long time, and, I found his business card mixed in with mine, and I'm like, fuck, I forgot it every single time. How many weeks he's told me to give him a shout-out, man. I want to give a shout-out to Eduardo. He came to my meet and greet SummerSlam weekend when we did our little meet and greet for Off the Script at the 4th Avenue Pub. And they call him the Angry Tech, man. If you guys need computer tech, work done, Eduardo has got you covered, man. He's an A+ certified computer technician. Don't get mad. Call the Angry Tech and make your computer happy. He also fixes and repairs Android phones. So there's Eduardo right there, man. 347-367-8708 if you guys are in the New York area and need any computer tech done. Eduardo, what's up, brother? I hope you're fucking listening to the show now that I gave you a fucking shout out, you goon. Thanks for coming by, man. Hope to see you again soon. Let's get into the news, bro. Let's get into the news. Is my microphone working? I've been having so many fucking issues, man. My microphone is working. I'm coming in loud and clear. Let's get to this news, man. Update on Seth Rollins. I mentioned Seth Rollins in the beginning. I didn't do a week in WWE review this week because I didn't really like anything besides NXT. So instead of bitching and moaning, we're going to keep somewhat of a positive vibe here on Off the Script. But one of the negatives from Monday Night Raw was Seth Rollins being injured. Now, I mentioned this on my Monday Night Raw review, and a little side note away from the news story on Rollins' injury that happened in the last closing segment of Monday Night Raw. How many of you guys feel the same way I do with Roman Reigns and this Roman Reigns agenda, right? They built a shield around Roman, and they're using Rollins and Ambrose as a shield for Roman so that he doesn't get booed. Roman is not going to get booed by association. This is what it's about. And if you don't understand that, then you are watching the product the wrong way. If you're a podcaster or in this business, you are going about business the wrong way. It gets me heated. It makes me raise my voice. I fucking hate it. They do everything for Roman. It's just not a t-shirt. It's not a goon t-shirt. It's not a beaver fucking t-shirt. It's the truth. It's fact. They do it for Roman. They built a fucking barrier around this guy so that he doesn't get booed. And then on top of that, they turned Strowman, who was the most over babyface on the fucking brand besides Seth Rollins, into a heel. So if you don't think the Roman agenda is real, you better fucking open your eyes. But what did the WWE do to all the work that Rollins gave us earlier in the year? Everything that he did for this Monday Night Rollins bullshit. Making the Intercontinental Championship the most prestigious championship on the brand. What have they done with that now? They gave him the title at SummerSlam, and then they made him Roman's bitch. And they pretty much killed the Intercontinental Championship. Now the Intercontinental Championship is buried underneath the Shield. So what are they going to do with this shit? They gave Rollins the belt. Why give him the belt if he's going to be Roman's bitch? Can't have both. Can't have both. Who is he going to defend the title against? What's going to be the next program? Is he even going to have a fucking program outside of being Roman's bitch? Probably not. I mentioned that title should be on a babyface, yes, but not a babyface that's realistically going to be Roman's bitch. I don't like it. Nobody else mentioned that. What's happening to the prestige? What's happening to the spotlight of the Intercontinental Championship? Oh, that's right. It's now Roman's bitch. So I want you guys to understand what's going on here. They did it for Roman. And they do everything for Roman. Even the fucking outlandish storyline on Monday Night Raw. Oh, they incited a riot. How many fucking times did they make their way through the crowd and do the same thing that they did on Monday Night Raw this week for the last 5 years? Did they incite a riot then? Did they get arrested then? Did you arrest Braun Strowman when he threw Roman Reigns off a loading dock strapped to a stretcher? Did you arrest Braun Strowman when he tried to fucking flip an ambulance with Roman Reigns inside? Did you arrest Roman Reigns when he fucking destroyed an ambulance and crushed it with Braun Strowman inside while Braun Strowman walked away, hobbled away, a bloody mess? We didn't see people handcuffed. We didn't see people, given their Miranda rights. We didn't see Roman Reigns taken to jail. We didn't see Roman Reigns stand before a judge committing acts of murder. What did they do? They incited a riot with the WWE Raw roster on Labor Day. On Labor Day. They get arrested on Labor Day. They get thrown in jail on Labor Day. They sit before a judge on fucking Labor Day at 10 p.m. They don't do it for Roman. Oh, they do it for Roman. Suck, suck, suck away on that Samoan cock. Fuck out of here. And what does Rollins get for it? An injury. He gets an injury. It's been previously reported that Seth Rollins may have suffered an injury this past week on Raw, as his arm was bloodied after being thrown into an ambulance during the final segment of the show, when he made contact with a vehicle, or the police car that they were in, that they jumped out of. I don't know who it was that threw him off the stage, but Jesus Christ, did that look fucking brutal. The glass window broke, and it caused the cut. Will this cause him to miss any time? Well, according to the latest episode of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Rollins has been cleared to appear at this weekend's house shows, so it would appear that the injuries were not serious. So there you go. Although he is the Intercontinental Champion, it is unknown what his role will be at Hell in a Cell. I just told you, the Intercontinental Championship and Seth Rollins are Roman's bitches. So there you go. But this is very good news. Having Rollins injured, it wouldn't really be a good thing for this fucking Shield reunion that's a failure. Rollins being cleared is good news because Ambrose was hurt during the other Shield reunion that we seen at TLC last year in 2017, and they abruptly ended that shit. So we can't have this Roman agenda complete without his buddies. So there you go. It's very good news, not only for that, which I really don't give a shit about, but it's good news because Rollins is one of the best talents in the company. But when I first seen that, I thought immediately when I seen that, that's going to be an issue. He landed fucking brutal against that win. I don't know who threw him. Maybe it was Strowman. I don't really recall because I don't go back and watch this shit. I watch it once and I'm done. One and done. In and out. But that was really bad. So having him out for injury and, just, avoiding that, good news for WWE. So Rollins right now cleared for all house shows. He's going to make all appearances moving forward for WWE. Speaking of All In, I mentioned All In and how I'm still kind of riding high on All In. All In attendance figures are in. And the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega released a commemorative shirt to pretty much relish in their massive success. The recent All In pay-per-view put on by Cody and the Young Bucks is being praised for its outstanding matches and excellent marketing. But how did the event do from a numbers standpoint? The most recent edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter provides some insight. The total attendance for the show blew away 10,000. So whatever Meltzer bet the Bullet Club, they certainly won this bet with Meltzer. The total attendance for the show was 11,263, which was the maximum amount that the fire department would allow. That figure is a combination of the 10,541 tickets sold in the first 30 minutes back in May, and any late production seats that were opened up, as well as people in the suites. The suites were packed and the building was 100% in use. The live gate for All In drew 458,525. While the final merchandise numbers are not available, every item that they had sold out, that was at the merchandise booth, including the official All In shirt, sold out at 3:30 p.m., 90 minutes before the show even started and 30 minutes after the doors opened. Fight TV grossed more than $1 million between iPay-per-view sales and StarCast iPay-per-view sales. That would probably indicate in excess of 20,000 iPay-per-view orders. The StarCast convention sold 11,000 tickets. Pro Wrestling Tees. This is giving me fucking chills, man. There's a lot of fucking t-shirts. Pro Wrestling Tees did $500,000 worth of t-shirt business over the weekend, and most of the merchandise in the venue would be a part of that total. Holy shit. Holy shit. What this tells me is that this wasn't a fucking success. This was out of this world on another fucking planet success. For a first time, for these guys to do this, it really makes you wonder, do they even need WWE? Holy shit. If they could do this again, after the buzz this has already created in the days following, people anticipating an All In 2, you can imagine that these numbers are going to be even better for year 2. Holy shit. This is a huge success, and it relies in the marketing. The marketing was flawless. The convention and everybody, I'm telling you, man, Conrad Thompson, even though there was some slight issues, I'm not going to bullshit you. There was some slight issues. but the amount of work that went into making this just fan accessible and giving the fans the best of everything was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And it was done in the right fucking town. It was done in the right... Chicago, I mean, I didn't want to leave Chicago. But having this event done in Chicago, one of the prime wrestling cities in this fucking country, obviously was a huge fucking step in the right direction. And how are you gonna beat that? If there really realistically is an all-in too, where are you gonna go? You're gonna go to a wrestling market. You can't have a success with all-in too if you don't better yourself. Everything you do, my mindset is everything you do has to be better than the last time you did it. If you're gonna have an all-in too, you're going to New York. I'm sorry. All-in too, if it does happen, is going to be at Madison Square Garden, and they're going to sell that fucking place out in probably less time than All-in-One sold out. 30 minutes, I give it 15 to sell 18,000 seats for All-In. And then you're going to do the convention at whichever hotel you guys want to pick for that type of event that can house that many fucking people. The StarCast convention did 11,000 tickets that entire weekend. Holy shit. There's a lot of talent out there, man. This was huge for fans. This was huge for talent. Talent that, could go there, meet the fans, make some fucking great money on top of that. This was great all the way around for the fans and the talent on the indie scenes, man, to just make money and just fucking, have a great weekend and be financially set for that weekend, man. It was so great. Every which way. And Pro Wrestling Tees sold $500,000 in t-shirts. That weekend. I can't even begin to tell you, when I walked in there, how packed that shop was. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm so fucking happy that this happened. And the thought of Omega and the Bucks leaving this is going to be talked about literally every single week leading up to when their contracts are officially done. I don't know, man. I did not know the numbers before I actually made that statement that I did on my All-In pay-per-view review. Vince McMahon is honestly going to have an open checkbook. There's a lot of people that I know in the industry that are not even giving it a second thought. Omega and the Bucks are WWE bound. There's not even a stutter in their breath. These guys are going to make millions just for a in-ring performers contract. That's minus the merchandise. That's where WWE's money is going. They want the merchandising rights to the Bullet Club. They want the merchandising rights to what the Bucks and Omega can do. I don't know, man. If you're making that type of money with what you did here, and the Young Bucks are making all this types of money just based on merchandise and plus having the freedom to do whatever they want and scheduling whenever they want and family time at home, going to the WWE and getting rid of that freedom. That freedom, that's going to come at a cost. You either go to WWE and give them your freedom, or you continue doing this and building a legacy of your own and have that freedom intact. And if you guys watch my All-In pay-per-view review, the last 15 minutes or so was the closing statements that were made by the Elite off pay-per-view. How Cody says not one man, not one entity, not one company owns this business. We own professional wrestling. The fans. This is their vision of professional wrestling. And then Omega said, we're not doing anything unless we're together. Or Cody said, we're not doing anything unless we're together. Omega made a very, very clear statement that, he wants to be at Madison Square Garden for the G1 Supercard. He wants to be there. It was a very vague, gray answer. He wants to be there. If he was going to be there, he said, yes, I'm going to be there. But he wants to be there. The key word wants to be there. Maybe he signs an extension to get him through that show, but that's the pinnacle of his career at this point. He helped sell that show out. Of course he wants to be there. Without the Elite, without the Bucks, Cody, Omega, and everybody involved with that camp, that show doesn't happen. That show doesn't sell out Madison Square Garden in 30 minutes. We might not even be talking about a G1 Supercard, New Japan, Ring of Honor, inside Madison Square Garden. The reason why that show is happening is because of them. Of course he wants to be a part of that. Vince McMahon doesn't want him to be a part of that. Vince McMahon wants him at WrestleMania the next night. I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting situation. But the amount of money that they made that weekend for All In, unfucking believable. Absolutely unbelievable. News on All In. Backstage news on wrestlers ignoring time cues at All In. Young Bucks unselfish during the main event. Saturday night's All In show is regarded as a massive success. There was something for every fan on that show, whether it was the wrestling of Omega and Pentagon Jr., which was my favorite match of the entire night. Going back and watching it, I'm changing my mind. They went with Skrull Okada. I'm going with Omega and Pentagon, man. Fantastic stuff. Omega, Pentagon, Skrull, and Okada. You know, the women's Fatal 4-Way was great. There was something for everybody there. The tag team match with SoCal Uncensored versus the Briscoes, fantastic. And then you had Joey Ryan and the Dick Druids, come out at the end of the Janela Hangman Page match, which was, again, something for everybody. You got your hardcore fix in there, and then you got your comedy with Joey Ryan. The only thing that hurt the show was that they had to go off the air seconds after the finish of the main event because a couple of the matches went long. The main event match was cut short because Joey Janela versus Hangman Page went 4 minutes over, and Marty Scurll versus Kazuchika Okada went 12 minutes longer than their allotted time. Janela has said that he felt terrible about what happened, but Scurll told Sean Mooney that his match was being crucified because it was in the semi-main event spot. Scurll also claimed that Nick Jackson told him not to cut anything out of his match. Well, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that the fans at ringside could hear people running the show yelling at Okada and Scurll to go home, and both of them ignored it. Furthermore, there were people in the production truck screaming that message to the people at ringside for them to go home, and the message, again, was ignored. The show had to be off the air by 10:58 p.m. Eastern Time because of time constraints given by the pay-per-view provider, and they were given 60 extra seconds after a call was made for extra time. Thankfully, they were able to finish the match with just a few seconds to spare. It was also reported in the Observer that at least one person noted that the Young Bucks came off very unselfishly in the main event because they cut a ton of their own spots and made sure Bandito, the most unknown wrestler in the match, to the United States fans, would get the most focus put on him. That says a lot about the Bucks, man. This is their event. They built this show around what they've built up as a business. They were going to get notoriety anyway. You know, I don't think that it should have been in the main event, but knowing that they were in the main event and this is their production, how they just willingly wanted to give Bandito and guys like that a spot to shine while cutting out the stuff that they're used to doing, the stuff that the fans are used to seeing, that speaks volumes about not only how they are as performers, but how they are as human beings. It speaks volumes about how they love this business and what they would do for this business. You know? That's the mentality of somebody that, you know, you want to work for and you want guidance from. That's just a great, noble, fucking honorable thing to do, man. That's a great quality that you don't really find, especially in the wrestling business when a lot of people are fucking selfish. They'll turn the other fucking cheek and say something that was never said and do their own thing and say, fuck you. They'll say thank you, and then say fuck you behind your back. You know? That's awesome to hear. That Bandito was given a spotlight on him when the Bucks could have easily taken it for themselves, but they wanted to give it to someone who I didn't even know of. I never seen Bandito wrestle. I never seen Bandito, I never even heard of him. I didn't know anything about him. Now I know about him. Now I'm following him on social media. Now I'm going to be more prone to go out there and look at the work that he's done because of what I seen in that main event from All In. I actually thought it was Neville when I first seen him. because he had the same body type, the same height, the same hair as Neville. I know I'm not the only one who thought that. Bandito, he looked like fucking, especially from where I was sitting. I'm like, is that Neville under the mask? Anyway, it wasn't Neville. He never showed up, but that's a great quality to have, man. Kudos to the Young Bucks on that, man. I'm so happy to see and hear shit like that. This is another thing that I know I've talked about, and I've mentioned this on more than one occasion, and it's only going to intensify as we get closer to the end of the year. 2018 has been a crazy year for professional wrestling, man. In a year where WWE is doing their best business effort ever, but their product is fucking insufferable, we're seeing the rise of independent wrestling and more work than ever before for guys like Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix. Everyone's talking about the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega and Cody, and what they will be doing as they enter free agency and what could be on their plate. Are they going to WWE? Are they staying with Ring of Honor New Japan? Dave Meltzer was the first to report that WWE had interest in signing Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix. It was later reported that both men have told promoters that they would not be taking dates in 2019, a big sign that they are WWE bound. The official MLW account sent out an interesting tweet on Thursday night that adds more credibility to these rumors. Now, the tweet says, it's been an incredible 2018 for the hashtag Lucha Bros. A monumental moment is on the horizon for Rey Fenix and Pentagon as we hear what 2019 holds for them. MLW fans may be shocked to see what's NXT, end quote. That was in the tweet. Now, they could be trolling. They could be fucking with everybody. But I don't know why you would throw out NXT of all fucking promotions in regards to Rey Fenix and Pentagon Jr. 2019 is going to be very interesting regardless. Now, I've mentioned this on more than one occasion. I think Rey Fenix and Pentagon would be fantastic in NXT. Pentagon could be a fucking dark heel, the likes of which we've never seen in NXT. We know what the body of work is when it comes to Rey Fenix and Pentagon. They would fit like a fucking glove in NXT. I can't say the same thing about the main roster. NXT needs luchadors in general. There really hasn't been a luchador in NXT since Kalisto. And he even, he didn't really receive a massive singles run in NXT. He was part of the Lucha Dragons, which I actually really enjoyed with Sin Cara. I thought that was a great rebirth of Sin Cara. That was a great use of the Sin Cara character. And then they brought them to the main roster and split them up. To me, even right now, I still think that they would probably be better off as a tag team. Forget 205 Live. I think they would be better off as a tag team. Now we got the Lucha House Party. Now we got, them guys on 205 Live. They may still be a tag team. Kalisto still may be a part of a tag team because we don't know if there's Cruiserweight tag team titles on the horizon yet. So, he still may be in a tag team-esque role. But I hated that they broke up the Lucha Dragons. I thought they were fantastic in NXT. And they never really got a shot to shine. They really never got a shot to see what they could do before they made the main roster broken up. Same thing here with Rey Fenix and Pentagon. Pentagon, to me, would fit like a glove on NXT. Dark, brooding, just sinister type heel. And we know he could fucking wrestle. He's known for his death matches. He was in a Mexican death match, and he was in like a last man standing match on Lucha Underground just last week. And then a Mexican death match with Sami Callihan on Impact Wrestling. He doesn't need to do that type of shit. We know he can wrestle. Just look at what he did with Kenny Omega. There's no doubt in my mind that he would be a fucking raving success in NXT. Can't say the same thing about the main roster. I would not, in a million fucking lifetimes, put this man in front of Vince McMahon. This guy would be unmasked. This guy would be a fucking traveling road agent for the Shining Stars. That's what they would make him. Or they would dress him up in a fucking bull-like costume like El Torito and make him into a Mexican fucking bullfighter. Unmasked. Rey Fenix, I don't want him on 205 Live. The guy's the next Rey Mysterio. When Rey Mysterio goes, the heir apparent to Rey Mysterio is Phoenix. These guys on NXT would be unbelievable. NXT would get that babyface luchador that we need. We don't need it, but it would be a welcome addition to the roster. And Pentagon is self-explanatory. If Triple H is going after these guys, I certainly hope so. And it makes NXT, man, holy fucking shit. You talk about all-star rosters. Jesus fucking Christ. At this point, you're gonna have to make TakeOver 3 hours. Jesus. I'm hoping that is the case. Because they honestly do deserve a payday. And if WWE is going to be willing to pay these guys whatever it takes to come into the company, then they certainly deserve it. They deserve it. I don't know how you guys feel about that. As long as their essence is kept intact and they don't fall victim to Vince McMahon, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Let me know what you guys think, man. But MLW teasing that they are excited to see what is NXT for both Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Speaking of NXT, Luke Harper is without a tag team partner. Luke Harper is without Eric Rowan. The Bludgeon Brothers are no more for right now. But you never know who's going to end up showing up in NXT at an NXT live event. WWE has been sending main roster stars, Tyler Breeze, The Revival, to NXT to make surprise appearances. And Buffalo, New York got a very welcomed treat. SmackDown Live superstar Luke Harper appeared on the show and he challenged Ricochet for the North American Championship. As you can imagine, everybody went fucking nuts when he came out. The match was started and the fans chanted Brody Lee, the name he used years ago before joining WWE. So there is video of this online. Ricochet obviously was able to retain his North American Championship, but, you know, watching these clips spread out through social media, that it might not be the last time we see Luke Harper used at an NXT live event. Tyler Breeze also worked on this particular show with Luke Harper. If you're wondering why Harper was booked for an NXT live event, it's because creative doesn't have anything for him right now, since his partner Eric Rowan went down with a shoulder injury and will be out the remainder of 2018. Bray Wyatt also sent out some cryptic tweets about the WWE Top 10 Factions list that I tweeted out on social media that seen the Shield come in at number 1 over the NWO, the Four Horsemen, and D-Generation X, while I laughed hysterically, while you guys laughed hysterically. Bray Wyatt was asking, where's the Wyatt family? Why aren't we on there? So he sent out some cryptic tweets about possibly changing and reordering that list with due time. So maybe we see Luke Harper join forces with Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman eventually. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with that. But speaking of Luke Harper, he was down at NXT's live events in Buffalo, New York, and he went one-on-one with Ricochet, something that I would definitely like to see in the future. Moving on here, man, I got news on Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's contract status is now no longer a question. Major update on Daniel Bryan's contract status with WWE. They got him. Daniel Bryan is signed, sealed, and delivered. One of the biggest stories over the summer was Daniel Bryan, whether he's going to sign with the WWE or go give us wet dreams filled with indie matches. Omega, Okada, Skrull, Cody, Pentagon. The list goes on and on. The idea that he might not stick around was a big question mark, as Daniel Bryan's return has been one of the biggest, most emotional moments, not only of his career, but of the wrestling year for 2018, and hopefully there's more to come for Daniel Bryan. Seemed likely that he would sign again, but now there is more details today on Daniel Bryan's status. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Bryan has signed a new contract with the WWE. This has been rumored for the last few weeks, as Bryan had said that he was likely 90% to sign with the company again. While there's no word on when his new contract will expire, we don't have any news on years, length, scheduling, what he wants to do as far as opponents worked, etc., etc. There's no word on when his new contract will expire, but Bryan is already announced to be wrestling at this month's Hell in a Cell and October's WWE Super Showdown in Australia. Maybe some more opponents like Almas and a possible WWE Championship are on the horizon. Now, I know some of you are probably disappointed that he is not going to the Indies and he's not going to be in the ring with the Okadas and the Omegas and the Young Bucks and the Codys and the Pentagons and the Phoenixes of the indie world, okay? But you got to look at it from Daniel Bryan's perspective. WWE locked him into a contract. I'm sure it's a multi-year deal. Daniel Bryan would not have signed if it wasn't beneficial for him. That's what I'm guessing. Daniel Bryan would have walked away if it wasn't to his liking. He's that type of person. He's been very vocal about what he wants and where he wants to be. He's been very vocal about his career. Daniel Bryan would not have signed this contract if it wasn't benefiting him and his family. And he has to look at it. You, as the fan, have to respect his decision. His family is probably, with this one deal, set for life. Simple as that. He's got a wife, he's got a newborn baby girl, and he's got a family now. A family that he has to take care of. All while running a WWE career. You got to respect his decision. WWE gave him the platform to make a name. WWE gave him the platform to come back from an injury in which they already told him, you're not coming back from this. They gave him a microphone. They gave him clearance to wrestle in their ring again at a high level. Against the Styles, against the Joe, against an Almas, with more to come. His wife is employed by the company. All of this factored into Daniel Bryan staying with the WWE. Am I shocked that he stayed? No. There's more positive for Daniel Bryan staying than negative. We may have to just fantasize and create via a WWE 2K19 or a Fire Pro Wrestling World to see those dream matches that right now we're not going to see. Who's to say that we're not going to see those matches? Everybody that I mentioned, everybody that you want Bryan to wrestle against may end up in the WWE next year. So who's to say that we're not going to see them? We may see an Omega versus Daniel Bryan. We may see a Daniel Bryan versus a Cody or a Marty Scurll or a Pentagon. It's not out of the realm of possibility that these guys don't come to the WWE. But did Daniel Bryan make the right decision? Yes, he did. Ultimately, in the end, he did. Because of his family. And we have to respect that. Now, the only thing I'm worried about is what's in the contract. How long is the contract? Who is Daniel Bryan working with? Is there plans in place creatively to where this guy can benefit and he can be brought to where he needs to be? Is he going to have some creative say in what happens? That was one of the defining factors of signing a contract. Only time will tell. I'm sure the details of this contract will be revealed. I'm sure sooner rather than later. But Daniel Bryan is here. Daniel Bryan is back. Daniel Bryan is healthy. And Daniel Bryan is competing at a high level. All while taking care of his family. You can't fault him for that. And we as fans should be gracious that he is back, performing at a high level, and doing what we want him to do. I don't think there's anything to complain about there. Jericho. Chris Jericho surprised the world at All In. He was dressed in Pentagon's makeup. He was dressed in a Pentagon suit, wearing Pentagon ring gear, and he attacked Omega, all for the sake of the Jericho Cruise. Who knew what was going on at All In? Did Jericho get clearance from Vince McMahon? Last Saturday at All In, Chris Jericho made a big surprise appearance attacking Kenny Omega after Omega defeated Pentagon Jr. This was one of the most shocking things on the show, one of the most shocking things of the year because of where the show was after that particular match and after what Jericho had already stated that he would not work a show in North America and disrespect Vince McMahon. Whatever you want to call it, this wasn't something that was going to make WWE happy. So how did it all go down? According to PW Insider, Mike Johnson, Jericho's appearance at the show wasn't known in advance by WWE, which led to various WWE officials calling Jericho as soon as the show was over to make sure it was really him. The thing is, though, Jericho isn't under contract at all to WWE and can show up at any wrestling promotion and do whatever he wants. Pretty much what he's been doing in recent months. So, that's that. I am sure that he notified Vince McMahon of what was going on. Was Vince McMahon happy? Probably not. I'm pretty sure there were some salty people in Stamford, Connecticut at the late hours on Saturday night and early Sunday morning while Jericho was flying to Kansas City to make a appearance at a concert for Fozzy. So he came dressed as Pentagon, showed up to do 10 minutes to attack Omega, and then immediately flew to Kansas City. I'm sure that he got clearance from Vince McMahon before he went live at All In Chicago. He can do whatever he wants. And this is not going to be an issue that goes away. Is Jericho going to be at Long Beach, at the next Long Beach show that's happening later this year for New Japan? Is Jericho going to be at Wrestle Kingdom? Probably, as he defends and still is defending IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Is he going to be at Madison Square Garden? I don't know. Jericho even teased that 2019 is going to be an interesting year. He wants to be the Brock Lesnar of New Japan. He wants to be similar to what Brock Lesnar is doing. I don't know, man. It's going to be I can't say. How close is Vince McMahon with Chris Jericho and vice versa? If I'm Jericho, listen, if I'm Jericho, I'm not burning any bridges. If I'm Jericho, I'm doing what I got to do for the remainder of this year and then show up in WWE next year. I'm not going to be at Madison Square Garden. I'm not going to be at the G1 Supercard. I'm going to be at WrestleMania. So if I'm Chris Jericho, I'm going to be that loyal, honorable individual and keep your word to Vince McMahon. You don't want to burn your bridges. You already know that you're sought after by New Japan, that these guys, you're good with these guys, you're very good friends with these guys. If they got a spot for you, if they got plans for you, clearly they'll make you a top priority. But if you do that and then burn bridges with Vince McMahon, then you're burning your biggest money bridge. You don't want to just go away from Vince McMahon and fucking piss him off to a point where, you know, that relationship is ruined. But even at that point, would it be ruined? If Jericho goes to G1, if Jericho is at Madison Square Garden and shows up at Madison Square Garden and defends the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, if he is champion still at that point, how upset is Vince McMahon going to be? Is he going to be upset to a point where if Jericho wants to show up later on in the year at SummerSlam in a major program at SummerSlam, is Vince McMahon going to turn him away and tell him, fuck you? No, I don't want you? So it looks like Jericho does have some play here. Jericho does have some freedom to do what he wants. It's all about respect of one human being towards another. Vince McMahon is not going to be that pissed off. Vince McMahon is not going to be the one to say, yeah, you know, Jericho, I don't need you. Of course he's going to take Jericho back whenever he wants him, whenever he needs him, whenever Jericho asks. So one has to wonder, is this going to be as bad as people are really leading on? I don't think so. Now, me as a human being, I'm not going to disrespect Vince McMahon. Jericho might do whatever he wants and say, screw it, fuck it. I'm going to be at Madison Square Garden. I'm going to be a helping hand in competing with WWE that weekend because I believe I'm needed here. WWE doesn't need Jericho. Jericho knows they don't need him. Jericho's going to be where he's needed. Jericho's going to be at Madison Square Garden regardless. That's my impression. My impression is Jericho's going to be at Madison Square Garden because it's not really going to really matter in the end. Vince McMahon's going to take him anyway. That's my opinion on that. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Let me know if Jericho, you think, will be at the G1 Supercard and Madison Square Garden. I want one more news article here before I get the hell out of here, man. There was a lot to cover. I hope you guys enjoyed it up until this point, off the script. There is one more thing. There's one more thing. I know I've seen, a lot of you guys talk about BC Amplified and how I should work with him and how he is very similar to what I do here, very vocal. He's a New York guy. And I watched a Q&A of his where he was ranting about ticket sales for Evolution. And it made me actually go out there and Google it. Is it really as bad as people are proclaiming it to be? Now, I didn't think so. And I found confirmation on ticket sales actually being very good for WWE Evolution. Is the card going to be good? I couldn't give two shits about the fucking card right now. I think WWE's booking this shit fucking miserably at the moment. But there were reports last week that the ticket sales for Evolution were terrible, were slow. The reason why WWE announced Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus and Lita versus Mickie James so early was to boost ticket sales. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, 7,000 tickets have already been sold, and it looks like they will come close to selling out or possibly selling out the Nassau Coliseum, which is currently set up at 10,900 seats for wrestling. 2,400 of the tickets sold so far were from ticket brokers. The show is set to take place at the end of the month, so there's plenty of time for WWE to sell the remaining tickets. As of this writing, these are the matches announced for Evolution. Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus, which I don't know why it's happening. It has nothing, none of these women have anything to do with each other. Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus is a sheer 100% political agenda. Simple as that. Alexa lobbied for this, and she got it. And you know why she got it. Trish Stratus even wanted Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks even put in a request to work Trish Stratus. If there's one woman that defines the evolution and the revolution that WWE is doing right now, outside of the Ronda shit, it's Sasha Banks. Alexa Bliss has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. Sasha Banks versus Trish Stratus should be the match. You look at this shit, with Trish and Lita already booked up. Lita with Mickie James. Who is Sasha Banks going to go one-on-one with? Unless they get her an AJ Lee. I don't see what the fuck Sasha Banks is going to do, being that Sasha Banks is such an integral part in this revolution. Who are they going to go out and get for Sasha Banks? If there's anybody that should have been booked first with a marquee match, it's Sasha Banks. And WWE has not done that yet. Alexa Bliss and Trish Stratus, not something that I would put at the top of a card to sell out a fucking 11,000 seat show. Mickie James versus Lita? I'm not interested in that whatsoever. I've been on record saying Mickie James versus Trish Stratus is something that I'd pay to see. Mickie James versus Trish Stratus or Sasha Banks versus Trish Stratus. We got Lita versus Ruby Riott. That's the way I would have booked it. That's the way I would have went about it. The finals of the Mae Young Classic. NXT Championship, Women's Championship going to be on the line. The UK Women's Championship going to be on the line. Plus other matches spread out. WWE has only announced 2 matches so far. And they're expecting to sell out 11,000 seats. Got to do a better job, man. Got to do a better job. Right now, with these 2 matches and the rumored main event of Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella, I feel sorry for whoever's bought tickets to this fucking shit already. It's not even worth the $9.99 on the WWE network at this point. WWE, I said this from the fucking beginning. If this show is not booked like an NXT Super Show, if this is not in the hands of Triple H and his team, if this is not booked as a dream, this show should have been booked as a dream match scenario. Dream match scenario. They're already fucking this shit up and making me regret even watching this shit. Evolution. It ain't no fucking evolution. It's nothing but fucking political garbage. And then WWE is going right back to Saudi Arabia the next month. So people are going to be talking about, well, evolution is only happening because the women aren't going to be allowed into Saudi Arabia, so they got their own pay-per-view. And I'm sure we'll discuss evolution as the time goes on, but right now there's 7 weeks left to fill out this card, and WWE better blow me away, because right now, I'm getting ready. I got my notes ready. I got my iPad ready. Shit all over this fucking garbage. Come October 28th. That's Off the Script, guys. Thank you so much for everything. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I'll be back tomorrow, as always, with more news and rumors right here on Off the Script. Follow me on Twitter, at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Support the podcast where available, man. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Harrys.com/offthescript. Or Harrys.com/script. I'm sorry. And it's audibletrial.com/offthescript. Thank you guys so very much for everything. Hit that thumbs up on the way out. And I will see you guys tomorrow with part 2 right here on the podcast. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.